Oh my god, I just did it again, Kia. Alright, guys, today we are making smothered pork chops. Now, I am making it a little bit differently than the way that I normally make it. I never make it the same way twice. You're going to need portobello mushrooms, white button mushrooms, some cut up bacon, some garlic, some heavy whipping cream, some pork chops, and the secret ingredient for today was apple brandy. Oh, yes. We're going to add a little apple hint notes in the back of these supple pork chops. Yes. Now you're going to want to season both sides of your pork chops. I use salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and cumin. Now, if you want to use something else, you do you. Season it however you like to season it, okay? If you got a favorite seasoning, hey, you go for it, baby. You do you, okay? Just make sure you season both sides of these pork chops. This is like my sixth time doing this voiceover because I keep hitting the wrong button. Lord, one of these years, I promise, I will get my life together. I might be too old to walk by then, but my life will be put together. Now, I do get tired of using this little spoon right here, so then I just start dumping it here in a minute. Oh my god, here in a minute. Okay, here we go. See, there I go. I start dumping it on. Dumping it on. I just dumping my seasonings on there. Now we're gonna get a little rub. We're gonna push them seasonings down into them pork chops. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna go in with the bacon. Bam. Get your pan on nice and hot. Bam. There goes the bacon. Alright. Now the goal here for this bacon is to render as much of this bacon fat as you possibly can. Okay? Because I'm going to take that liquid gold and I am going to sear them beautiful pork chops in it. Oh, yes. That's what I'm doing. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm just playing with my bacon because I was singing and dancing with Kid, Kimber, and Oreo, my three babies, my fur babies. And I was not really paying attention. I apologize. I did not have my full attention on it. Now, there's all my bacon fat. See, all my bacon's nice, golden, crispy. When I say my babies love that bacon, boy, I call it bacon dust because I got it so crispy that, while it's still hot, you could just touch it and it like turns to dust. Yeah, but my babies like it that crispy. If I try to give them a piece of bacon that isn't that crispy, boy, they're spoiled, okay? My fur babies are spoiled. They turn their nose up on it. I'm like, really? Really? Okay, but it is what it is. Now I'm just going to take my bacon out. Now set that off to the side, okay? Because we're going to use that later. Now, if you don't like pork chops, you can use chicken in this recipe. If you don't like bacon, you can use turkey bacon. Or you can just omit the bacon altogether. You can even omit the mushrooms if you wanted to. You can slice you up some onions, slice you up some apples. And then when I add my mushrooms to the pan, that's when you would add your onions and your apples. And you would, let them do their thing. If that's how you wanted to play this. But this is how we did it in my kitchen today. Yes, look, they seared up nicely. Now, if you got a little pan like I did, a little 8-inch instead of like a little 10-inch, do not try to force all your pork chops in there because they're going to end up steaming your pork chops instead of searing. So that's why I did it in 2 batches like that. 3 the first time, 1 last time, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Now we're going to go in with our mushrooms. Bam, there's my white button mushrooms. Got to get every last nook and cranny out of there. Them things were expensive. And then here I am, coming in with them baby portobellos. We're going to open up that package, and I'm going to dump them in. Bam, there it is, baby, look at that. Yes. Now, the goal here is to let your mushrooms brown up. Okay, do not touch them. Now you're going to see me put my spoon in here to wiggle them down into the oil. And then look at that. They get all nice and brown. This is the time that you're going to season your mushrooms. I just added salt. This is the time. You do not do it when you first put your mushrooms in your pan, because that's just going to extract all the water out of them. Okay? That's all it's going to do. Your mushrooms won't brown. Okay? Yes. Now, I done seasoned my salt. Gave them a nice little stir in the pan. Now I'm going to come in with some flour. Okay? Oh, sorry, garlic first. My big old heaping spoonful of garlic. When you can smell the garlic, add your next ingredient, because you don't want your garlic to burn. It will get bitter, and that is just not a nice. Say like if I was serving this to a friend, for like a entertainment purposes or something, that would no, that would not be nice. Okay, so once you can smell your garlic, then I am going to go in my next ingredient, which would be my flour. Now, I was supposed to just add 2 tablespoons of flour, but I got a little flour happy. Point in, scene, there it is. Now, if you do this, you can add a little bit more vegetable oil, a little bit more olive oil, a little bit of butter, whatever you usually use. Just a teensy bit. So your flour don't gloop up on your mushrooms like how mine did. But I do go in and I fix it with a little knob of butter. Okay? Now all I'm doing here is cooking my flour out. I'm just trying to cook all the flour taste out, because we do not want our gravy to taste like flour paste. You hear me? You don't want it to taste like that. You want to cook it out. That'll take about 1 to 2 to 3 minutes tops. Okay? Now, see, mine get kind of thick because I did add a lot of flour. All right, kid, quit trying to push me off of here. So, see, I'm going at my knob of butter because it did kind of gloop up on my mushrooms there. So, I'm going to get that nice little fat all up in there so it can, relax the flour off of my mushrooms a little bit. Yeah. And it'll help finish cooking out that flour taste. Yes. Okay. Now, here in a minute, I'm going to go in with a half a cup of my apple brandy. Now, look. If you do not want to use alcohol, you have choices. You can use 2 cups of water, 2 cups of chicken stock, or you could do a half a cup of apple juice, a half a cup of apple cider, not vinegar, apple cider, the drinking apple cider, and then maybe the breast and chicken broth. Okay? Now, I just put my alcohol in there. Now I'm just trying to let the alcohol cook out a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with a cup of water. Now the reason I am doing this is because my pork chops are thick. They're like 1.5 inches. And I only partially cook them. Okay? So I want them to finish cooking in this sauce that I am making right now. Okay? Because I want it to be good. Okay, that's all I can say. I want it to be good. I want them to finish cooking in this sauce. Okay? Now, if you have smaller pork chops, then after you sear them, then you can just skip that water that I added in there, that other cup of water. You could just go ahead, add in your alcohol, your choice, a half a cup. And then you go in with a 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. Let that thicken up. Put your mushrooms in there. You ready to go, baby. But me, because mine was very thick, adding all that juice to, then this is how I chose to do it. Now, these needed about another 10 minutes to reach. 139 is what temperature I pulled mine at. Okay, you want only cook your pork chops at 145. So if you pull your pork chops at 140, your carryover cooking time will bring it up to 145. You pull them out that hot pot at 140, okay? As they sitting there, you're going to put your little tent, a little full tent over it, and it's going to reach 145 because you do not want dry ass pork chops. You know what I mean? You want juicy pork chops. So, cook your pork to 140. There we go. See, I'm taking mine out. Bam. Now I'm going to go in with my heavy whipping cream. Yes, my heavy whipping cream. There to stare. I'm just getting all the lovelies off the bottom of that pan because all that foam that developed down there, I'm pretty sure. Now there goes my heavy whipping cream. Now what I do here, because I did add water because my pork chops are really thick, I want to reduce all that water out of there. Okay? Now, when I first tasted the sauce before I added my heavy whipping cream, it was a punch in the face of apple. Yes, it was. Of the apple alcohol. So the more that it reduced and a lot of that water cooked out, a lot more of the alcohol cooked out, it kind of mellowed out the apple, okay? And then it was just like a nice background note to this pork chop dish. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You cannot tell me that does not look good, baby. Oh, you know you want to eat it. You know you want to make this recipe. Yes. Look at that. See? Told you that bacon was going to come back into play. And then there goes the parsley. Oh, look how pretty. You cannot tell me that does not look good, baby. Everybody eats with their eyes first before they eat with their stomach. I'm telling you. Look at that. Bam. Oh, as if she's sexy. Oh, yes, baby. All right, guys. I hope you liked my video. Hope you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. See y'all in the next recipe. Bye now.